I feel it tonight. That look in your eyes got me begging for more. Oh, I feel it tonight. There's something inside that I can't ignore. Oh, I feel it tonight. That look in your eyes got me begging for more.
What is going on, dudes? Good morning and welcome to today's video. Today what we're going to be doing is fitting the motor inside the engine bay, making sure that it clears everything, figuring out how we are going to be fabbing up motor mounts, because we might end up getting lucky. It might fit with the FRS motor mounts, which it almost seems like it will. But if that doesn't work, we are just going to be chopping the subframe, which is already on the motor, and welding that into place and making up our own little mounts out of that pretty much. So as you can see, I do have the hood behind me. I have the headers in the back. I have the drive line from the FRS and the drive line from the Mustang, both in the bed of the truck as well, because we're gonna try and get our measurements in the next few days, hopefully. I wanna get back on a posting schedule, and I would like to do Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or post a day on the weekend. I don't really know, but I mean, I think it would be good for me to be recording every day and then go and edit and put it all together. So let me know what you guys think about that, or if you would rather see like weekly videos with like a lot more broad stuff. I mean, because if it's every day, there's going to be a lot more specific. So if you people want to like take notes from this, or like if you want to do this swap and you want information, I feel like I go a bit overboard sometimes, but I think sometimes it is pretty good to have all that information. So if you enjoy that, say 3 videos a week down below. If you would rather get like broad, general, probably more exciting stuff, then I can do 1 video a week of just like the main things we're doing. But I'm about to pull up to the shop right now, so I'm gonna jump off the camera, get everything unloaded, and then I will meet up with you guys once we're actually moving on the project. All right guys, we're in the shop now. Got the car right over here. Operation 1 is going to be just getting the motor up on the cherry picker and kind of dropping it in, and we're going to eyeball it, kind of see what we can do. See if we are going to be reusing the mounts from the Mustang, or if we can reuse anything from the Boxer engine and the motor mounts for that. So we're kind of just going to figure it out, but right now step 1 is just going to be eyeballing it, seeing if we have to fab stuff up or not. So well, here's the first look at this, guys. As you can see, it's a tight squeeze, but it's never been a challenge. When it don't fit, you just jam it in, right?
Yeah, jam it. And then the 5-speed, 6-speed going in there.
All right, guys, the first issue that we've came across is that the oil pan is actually sitting right here on the back, as you can see. So we're gonna have to order a front sump oil pan so that we can have clearance, and as you can tell, it's basically going to be this flipped around, so the sump is going to be more right here. It'll be flat in the rear, which will give us the clearance we need there, because the motor is still sitting super high. So obviously you could do nothing right here, but that is our first issue, and this whole thing is pretty much just going to be diagnosing problems and figuring out what we're going to have to modify, because as you know, this was not meant to go in this car. So we'll see where we go. Alright, we got the oil pan off of here. Now we're going to reset it in and see if we can get a better look at things. Yeah, that would definitely be fine for hood clearance.
You're still having to, that's the whole, well, you might have to alter your...
I think in that issue we can just relocate the oil filter.
Yeah.
So that would be fine. And then it's almost got right in here, like it almost would sit. I mean, if we could fab up something out on the ends of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not centered yet.
Yeah. Alright, the motor's out of the car again. We are going to be taking off this. Eric was saying this is mostly for like smog. Or what? Like, what else do you think this is for? Like, it's just for sensors or what?
Yeah, VSD, and it also it turns those little flaps inside the intake. Probably for a certain RPM, they open up or something.
Okay. Sweet. So we'll take those off. Eric's getting off this clutch master cylinder because that is creating issues back here. All right, dudes. So we got the master cylinder off of there. We got the little swirly shit over here. We don't need that. So lucky for me, MMR makes a little lockout. Basically that thing just controls right here, which opens and closes the intake valves, or not valves, but the intake flaps. And lucky for me, they're $60 for a little piece this big. Fun stuff. And I have to buy an oil pan, a front sump oil pan. So I'm already like $600 into the day. Let's send it. But all that shit's out of the way. So we're gonna move it in again, now that we have a little bit more clearance, and kind of see what we can do. All right. This fitment number 3 out of many. Things are looking better. Much more clearance back here. The side clearance is like almost unbelievable on both sides. You got plenty of room to make shit. Honestly, not too bad, but as you can tell so far, we're just kind of doing things step by step and finding the issues and then finding a fix to the issue, because we don't know what we're going to come across at all. So it's going to be a lot of put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. So we'll see what we do next. All right, we're getting these motor mounts off of the Mustang subframe. We'll put these on the motor in here, see what kind of magic we can work. So right now, kind of the goal is that if we can reuse these Mustang motor mounts, that would make things a lot easier for the future. If I ever need to upgrade motor mounts or do something different, I can just reuse the Mustang parts. So the least amount of fabrication that we can do to make this whole thing work in general is kind of the goal. Obviously there is a lot of things that are going to need to be fabricated, but we want to reuse OEM shit for as much as possible.
It's gonna land on the harmonic balance there.
Alright,
Ready?
Let's go. Oh my god. Oh fuck me. Alright, well that's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna throw the hood on. Alright, motor swap complete. 2 hours.
All done.
Done. Now when we turn the key it should fire.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Dude, holy shit. That's some good clearance.
It's a good start.
So the main issue that we were coming across with the motor in the car was that these motor mounts, because of how round this is and how bulky it is, it takes up too much space and we're hitting the sides right here. So Eric's drilling over there and we plasma cut out these, which are going to be our new motor mounts, and we cut holes in there so that they line up just right. It's very difficult to show you with one hand, but lines up just right. So it's a solid motor mount. We're eliminating the rubber, which is really good. And yeah, let's go check out over here.
Look at the cool guy over here.
All right, the first bracket, or the first engine mount is done. All right, so we put it in. It was still tight. It wasn't quite working the way we would like. But now we're on to our next option, which could be the winner right here. There's an L bracket in there. We would weld it down into the subframe and then onto that bracket that you can kind of see moving there on the left-hand side. So with that, I mean, as you can see, it looks actually surprisingly clean. And you have that on both sides. That might be the winner. Got a little look at the tack welding in there. So this side is still free, obviously, but that'll come next. This is just enough to kind of give us a rough estimate of where things are going to line up. And it gives a little bit of stability for the motor. That way we don't have to keep on holding it and letting this thing wobble so much. All right, guys, after a long day. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, the hood's on the car now too. So, kind of try and show you in there. The motor mounts are done on both sides. Well, the mock-ups, that is. So they're actually perfect. The motor is centered. Everything is in position really well. So huge thank you to Eric for doing all that today. I mean, all the fab work. We went through 3 or 4, Eric. Was that the third?
That is
Yeah. Yeah, like 3 or 4 mock-ups to try and get something that's gonna work. So this is it, and we're still gonna add a little bit more reinforcement, and I'll show you guys in the next video. But for day 1, to have the motor mounted, like I didn't think it was gonna go this way, so Eric thought it was gonna go smoother. So I mean, we're making progress. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was like super in detail, and let me know what you guys think. If you want it to be more brief, then I can definitely do that. Or if you want to see all the details, I can do that too. But it just takes more time and energy to try and get all the details. But just let me know and I'll give you guys whatever you'd like to see. But thank you very much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Peace out, and be sure to work more and talk less.